Welcome to Zoe Stories. My stepmom's spa day turned me into her Barbie. I always knew I was different. Not in the way people usually say it, like having a unique talent or a misunderstood soul.
No.
My different was the kind you hid in locked drawers and private browser tabs. The kind you felt in your stomach when you walked past a lingerie store and your eyes lingered on the mannequin just a little too long. The kind that made you both excited and deeply ashamed. My name is Ryan. I'm 19, a college freshman on summer break, currently living with my dad and his second wife, Claudia, in a beautiful two-story suburban home just outside of Seattle. My dad is often traveling for business, and Claudia is the definition of high-maintenance elegance. She owns a boutique spa downtown that caters to wealthy women who want to look 10 years younger without breaking a sweat. Blonde, confident, always perfectly manicured, she's intimidatingly flawless. And me? I'm average. Brown hair that never sits right, awkward posture from too many hours gaming, and a wardrobe made up of hoodies and cargo pants. No one looks at me twice. Especially not Amelia. Amelia is my girlfriend. We met during freshman orientation at college. She's smart, sarcastic, and has this pixie-cut hair that somehow always looks stylish, even when she's mad at me. Which, lately, has been more often than I'd like to admit. She says I'm emotionally distant, that I don't let her in. And she's right, because I'm hiding something. When I was 10, I snuck into my cousin's sleepover party and tried on one of her lip glosses when no one was looking. I liked the way it shimmered. I liked the way it felt. I should have felt scared or weird. Instead, I felt more me. That moment spiraled into something deeper over the years. When left alone, I'd sneak into my stepsister's room, try on a pair of tights, a little mascara, just for a minute, just to feel that thrill. It never stopped. I've never told anyone, not my dad, not my friends, not even Amelia. It's my secret, my burden, my quiet obsession. Which brings us to this morning. It was the second week of summer break. Dad was away on a conference in Chicago, leaving just me and Claudia in the house. Amelia had been distant lately. I tried texting her, calling her, but all I got were cold replies. I was starting to spiral. I needed an escape. Claudia knocked on my door just after 10 a.m., dressed in her silk robe, hair wrapped in a towel, sipping green juice like it was champagne. "Ryan," she purred, leaning against the doorframe, "I'm doing a home spa day today since the girls canceled last minute. You're free to join, you know." I blinked, confused. "Join a spa day?" She smirked. "You look stressed."
Come on.
"Facial, mani-pedi, massage. It'll do wonders for your skin and your mood." I laughed awkwardly. "I think I'll pass." "You sure?" she asked, eyes gleaming with something sharper.
Teasing.
"Testing. Might be good for you. Clean out all that boy grime." I nodded quickly. "I'm good. Thanks, though." She winked. "Suit yourself." She walked away, hips swaying confidently. I watched her vanish down the hallway, heart pounding. There was something strange in the way she'd looked at me. As if she knew more than she should. I waited until I heard the spa music start playing in the master bathroom, the soft notes of rainfall and chimes echoing through the hall. Then I crept downstairs, grabbed a protein bar, and turned on the TV. But I couldn't focus. My mind was racing. That offer. The casual way she said it. The idea of being pampered. Of letting go. Of being seen. Amelia's last message buzzed on my phone. "I just want to be with someone who knows who they are." My stomach dropped. I didn't even know how to respond to that. She was right. I didn't know who I was. Not completely. Not out loud. Not in a way that could survive sunlight. I wandered back upstairs to my room, closed the door, and sat on the edge of my bed. My heart thudded loudly. Then I did something stupid. I opened the drawer under my bed. The one with the lock. The one that held all the parts of me I didn't want anyone to see. Inside, a silky pink bralette. A pair of nude pantyhose. A cheap drugstore lipstick in rose bloom. A blonde wig I'd bought online after 3 weeks of agonizing over the decision. A small bottle of lavender body mist. I stared at them for a long time. Then I heard Claudia's voice from the bathroom again, humming to herself. She was still in spa mode, distracted. The idea struck me like lightning. What if, just for an hour, I joined her spa day? Not as Ryan, but as someone else. Someone I kept buried deep inside. Someone prettier. My hands trembled as I pulled out the bralette and held it to my chest. My fingers brushed against the fabric, and I felt that familiar warmth in my chest. That tingling thrill of fear and possibility. It was dangerous, reckless, but I couldn't stop myself. And that's when everything started to change. The wig was the first thing I pulled out of the drawer, long, honey blonde, just like Claudia's. It was synthetic and tangled from disuse, but it glowed under the soft bedroom light. I set it gently on the bed, then reached for the pantyhose. The moment the sheer fabric slid between my fingers, I felt that rush, part excitement, part guilt. My heartbeat quickened. I undressed slowly, leaving my boring, oversized t-shirt and boxers crumpled on the floor. Standing there in nothing but nervous energy and goosebumps, I stepped into the hose. I rolled them up my legs with practiced hands, adjusting and smoothing until they hugged me like a second skin. Then the bralette, light pink, lacy, barely padded. I clipped it behind my back, adjusting the straps. I'd done this before, many times. But this time was different. This time, I wasn't hiding in the dark. Claudia was just down the hall. I grabbed a pair of soft cotton shorts, Claudia's, stolen from the laundry basket weeks ago, and pulled them over the pantyhose. Then came a light crop top, also hers, printed with the word flawless in glittery letters. It didn't fit quite right. It hugged my chest awkwardly, but somehow it worked. I walked to the mirror and caught my breath. There she was. Not Ryan. Not entirely. But someone new. Still half-formed.
Still shy.
But alive. I sprayed the lavender mist on my neck and wrists. Then I sat at my desk and opened my secret makeup pouch. The tools of my transformation were all here. Foundation, blush, mascara, a pale pink lip gloss. All basic. All slightly worn. As I brushed foundation over my face, I could feel the persona slipping over me like silk. With every stroke, Ryan faded. Blush on my cheeks. Highlighter on the bridge of my nose. A coat of mascara that instantly widened my eyes. Lip gloss with a faint strawberry scent. I topped it off with a pair of Claudia's gold hoop earrings I'd swiped weeks ago. I reached for the wig, gently placed it on my head, adjusted it over the wig cap I'd learned to wear. I brushed it out slowly, trembling as the strands cascaded past my shoulders. I looked in the mirror. Not perfect, but close. Too close. My heart thumped louder as I stood up and walked to the door. I opened it just a crack and peeked out. Claudia's spa music still floated down the hall. No footsteps. No sign of movement. My bare feet padded across the hardwood floor. I made my way toward the master suite, each step laced with fear and adrenaline. I paused outside her open door. Inside, Claudia lay on a cushioned lounge chair, wearing a silky pink robe, cucumber slices over her eyes, her legs propped up on a spa stool. A facial steamer hissed nearby. Scented candles glowed around the marble counter. She looked like a queen in her private palace. Without thinking, I stepped inside. She didn't look up. I changed my mind, I said softly, trying to make my voice higher. She pulled off the cucumbers, blinking. Her gaze landed on me. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then, slowly, a sly smile curved across her lips. Well. Her eyes scanned me from head to toe. You really went all in. I froze, face burning. I just thought. I love it, she said, cutting me off. Honestly, you look adorable. I blinked. You're not surprised? She leaned forward, inspecting my makeup like a stylist analyzing her client. I suspected something for a while, she said. Little things. Missing items. The way you look at your reflection when you think no one's watching. I felt my stomach twist. I'm sorry, I blurted. I didn't mean. Relax, she said, waving a manicured hand. If anything, I'm impressed. You've got potential. All you need is a proper touch. A touch. She stood up, towering in her spa heels, and walked toward her vanity. You can't be my spa partner looking like that, she said. You're halfway to Barbie. Let's finish the job. Before I could protest, she was already pulling open drawers. A tube of bright pink lipstick, a blonde hairbrush, a sparkly choker, and false eyelashes. I can't wear those, I whispered, my voice trembling. She raised an eyebrow. Can't or won't? I hesitated, then sat down. Over the next 30 minutes, Claudia transformed me. She brushed and styled the wig until it gleamed. She cleaned up my makeup, added contour, lined my eyes with expert precision. She applied the lashes delicately, smiling as my eyes widened. She dabbed the bright pink lipstick on my lips, then smirked.
There.
Now that's a Barbie pout. She placed the choker around my neck, locking it with a tiny silver clasp. Then she stepped back.
Go look, she said.
I stood and turned toward the tall mirror near the bathroom. My breath caught. I looked unreal. Legs smooth and toned in the pantyhose. Waist cinched slightly from the way I'd tucked. Face glowing with soft femininity. And the lipstick, that ridiculous, bold, unapologetic pink, tied everything together. I looked like someone else. No, like someone I'd dreamed of being, but never thought I could become. Then Claudia said it. My Barbie. I turned to her, wide-eyed. What? She smiled. You're like my little Barbie doll now. So pretty. So polished. I tried to laugh, but my throat was tight. Something about the way she said it, my Barbie, sent a chill through me. We spent the next hour doing facials, manicures, and even a foot soak. Claudia treated me like a girlfriend, laughing and gossiping about her spa clients. I played along, lost in the fantasy. For a moment, I didn't care about anything, about Amelia, about being found out, about what this meant.
But the bliss couldn't last.
Because halfway through polishing my toenails bubblegum pink, Claudia's phone buzzed. She looked at it, then glanced at me. Amelia's on her way. My heart dropped. What? Why? She said she's coming by to talk, Claudia said calmly. Something about needing to clear the air with you. I jumped up, panicking. I need to change. She can't see me like this. But Claudia placed a hand on my wrist.
No.
I froze. No. She tilted her head. She's going to see you like this. All of this. My voice cracked. Claudia, please. She needs to know who you are. And honestly, she smiled. You've never looked more beautiful. I bolted to the hallway mirror, yanking off the choker, tugging at the wig, clawing at the lashes. Claudia, I can't let her see me like this. She'll freak out. She'll leave me. Claudia just leaned against the doorway, calm as ever, sipping from a mimosa she'd apparently conjured from nowhere. If she really cares, she'll stay. You don't know her like I do, I hissed, voice cracking with panic. Amelia's already pulling away. This will destroy everything. Or, Claudia said slowly, her voice softening, this will finally set you free. I shook my head, heart pounding. You don't understand what you're asking. But she didn't argue. Instead, she walked over to me, gently took my hand, and whispered, then go.
Change. Hide.
Pretend again. Her eyes met mine in the mirror. But understand, every time you do, you kill this girl just a little more. I stared at myself. The pink pout, the shimmering lashes, the curve of the wig against my cheek. The illusion of beauty and fragility and danger all at once. And underneath it all, I could feel her. The girl I never had the courage to name. The Barbie version of myself. Not fake. Not a joke. Just me. The doorbell rang. I jumped. Too late, Claudia said quietly. I sprinted to my room, heart in my throat. My hands trembled so badly, I couldn't undo the choker. The clasp was stuck. The lipstick was smudged. My reflection looked like a perfect mess. Why didn't I stop this? Why didn't I say no? Amelia was downstairs. I could hear her voice. Casual. Unsuspecting. I cracked the bedroom door just an inch and listened. "Hey, Claudia," Amelia said. "Is Ryan around?"
A pause.
"Upstairs," Claudia replied. "Getting ready." "For what?" Claudia laughed. "You'll see." I backed away from the door like it was radiating heat. Amelia was coming up. Her steps were slow, cautious, as if she already felt something was off. I could run. I could lock the door. I could leap out the damn window.
No.
I stood there, waiting. The door opened. Amelia stepped in and froze. Her eyes swept over me in stunned silence. My messy Barbie outfit, the dripping pink nails, the bralette strap slipping from my shoulder, the tangled blonde wig, and my face crumbling. "Ryan," she said slowly, like the word might collapse if spoken too fast. I couldn't breathe.
Couldn't speak.
Every cell in my body screamed to disappear. I can explain," I whispered. She stepped closer. "You dressed up?" My mouth opened, but nothing came out. Her eyes scanned the vanity table, the makeup tools, the used wipes, the discarded wig cap. "How long?" "A while," I croaked. "Since before we met." The silence was deafening. "Why?" she finally asked. My lips trembled. "Because when I do this, I feel like I can breathe. I feel like I'm not hiding. I feel like someone real." Her expression softened. "Is this who you are?" I hesitated. And then, for the first time in my life, I said it out loud. "I think this is part of me. Maybe not always. Maybe not forever. But this girl? She's been waiting inside me for so long." Amelia sat down on the bed slowly, like her legs were going to give out. "So, you're not a guy?" "I'm still figuring it out," I admitted. "I'm not trying to become a different person. But when I look like this, when I feel like this, I just want to exist without shame." She didn't respond for a moment. Then, "Why didn't you tell me?" "I thought you'd leave." "I still might," she said, but her voice wasn't cruel. Just scared. A long pause. Then she looked at me, truly looked. Her eyes searched mine, trying to find the boy she'd fallen for beneath the lashes and lip gloss. And then she smiled, sadly, warily. "You're still you, just shinier." I exhaled, relief washing over me like a wave. "You're not mad." "I'm a little shocked, a little confused." She touched my hand. "But I'm not leaving. Not yet." I could have cried. But the moment shattered when Claudia's voice floated up the stairs. "Ryan, Barbie, sweetie, come down for drinks." Amelia blinked. "Barbie." I turned crimson. "She calls me that," I muttered. Amelia gave me a look. "Okay, that's a little weird." "She did my makeup," I added. Amelia raised an eyebrow. "That's even weirder." We both descended the stairs together, Amelia holding my hand. Claudia was lounging in the kitchen in her robe, 2 fresh glasses of mimosa on the marble island. "Look at you two," she said, smirking. "My favorite couple, with a new aesthetic." Amelia narrowed her eyes. "What exactly are you doing, Claudia?" Claudia didn't flinch. "I'm helping Ryan find herself." "I didn't ask for this," I muttered. "No," Claudia said, "but you needed it." Amelia crossed her arms. "You manipulated him." "I opened a door," Claudia replied smoothly. "He walked through it." The tension crackled like a lit fuse. "I don't want him to get hurt," Amelia said. Claudia leaned forward. "Neither do I. But pretending he's someone he's not? That's the real damage." I couldn't speak. My head swam with confusion. Amelia turned to me. "What do you want?" And I said it.
Clear.
Unfiltered. "I want to stop hiding." That night, Amelia stayed over. We didn't kiss. We didn't cuddle. We just talked. About identity.
About fear.
About Barbie. And about what came next. The next morning, I woke up still wearing the pink satin pajamas Claudia had laid out for me after my meltdown. The makeup was mostly gone, just ghost traces of glitter clinging to my cheeks. The lashes were off. The wig was on the nightstand. But the feeling hadn't faded. Not the embarrassment. And not the strange comfort. Amelia had left early, texting me a gentle, We'll talk more soon. I need to think. But I'm proud of you. Whatever that meant. Downstairs, Claudia was already brewing espresso and flipping through a fashion magazine. "Morning, Barbie," she said without looking up. I cringed. "Can you not call me that today?" She gave me a sly smile. "But you wore it so well." "I'm serious, Claudia." She shrugged. "Suit yourself." I made it halfway to the stairs before she added, "Oh, by the way, your dad's flight landed early. He'll be home in an hour." I froze. "What?" She smirked. "Surprise." I ran to my room like it was on fire. My dad couldn't see any of this. Not the pantyhose in the laundry, not the lipstick stains on the mug, not the Barbie wig lying in plain view. My heart jackhammered in my chest as I scrambled to hide everything. Drawers slammed shut. The wig was stuffed under the bed. I tossed makeup wipes into the trash like evidence in a crime scene. But even when the room was clean, I wasn't. I looked in the mirror. My skin still shimmered faintly from yesterday's highlighter. My nails still bubblegum pink. I grabbed polish remover and scrubbed like a man possessed. Claudia wasn't helping. She greeted Dad at the door in her tightest yoga set, offering wine like it was 5 o'clock. She laughed loudly, made flirty comments, and kept glancing at me with a secret smile. Dad barely noticed me. He dumped his suitcase, kissed Claudia on the cheek, and retreated to his office. I tried to disappear into the living room, but Claudia cornered me before I got the chance. "You're spiraling," she said under her breath. "You blindsided me. You needed the push." I clenched my fists. "You don't get to decide that." She tilted her head. "Doesn't mean I'm wrong." That night, I stayed in my room. I couldn't risk it, but I couldn't sleep either. The girl inside me, Barbie or whatever her name was, kept knocking. "Let me out. Just a little.
Just one more time."
I ignored her. I thought I'd silenced her. Until the weekend. Until Claudia knocked on my door and said, "Come down. I need a favor." I followed her to the garage, where her car was parked, trunk open. "What's this?" I asked. She smiled. "We're doing a charity event at the spa. Dress rehearsal. I need someone to model a new skincare line. Clothes are in the bag. You'll fit." My stomach dropped. "No." She tilted her head. "No one will know. Just the girls and me." I said no. But she leaned in closer, voice dropping to a whisper. "You want to?" I saw it. I felt it. That spark. "You don't want to stop. You're just scared someone else will find out before you're ready." I didn't respond. Because she was right. I gave in. Again. It started with the clothes. Tight cream leggings, a silky pastel blouse, a push-up bra padded with inserts. Then the makeup, this time done by Claudia herself in the spa's private room. And finally, the shoes. 4-inch wedges. Barbie pink. She placed them in front of me like a gift. "This is the final test," she said. "Can you walk out there? Heels high, head higher, and own who you are?" I put them on. They clicked on the tile floor like a drum roll. Then I stepped onto the spa floor. And everything went wrong. There were clients there. Not just Claudia's friends. Real people. Strangers. Women who turned when I walked in and stared. At first, they didn't recognize me. But one of them tilted her head and said, "Wait, is that Ryan?" My blood froze. Claudia jumped in with a laugh. "That's my niece, Riley. Isn't she stunning?" Riley. A name. A mask. I smiled awkwardly. "Hi." The women giggled and complimented my makeup. One even asked about my heels. I faked a few lines, hands trembling. And just when I thought I might survive it, my dad walked in. He had come to surprise Claudia. He stopped cold. His eyes locked on mine. I couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. Claudia put her arm around me and said, "Meet Riley. Isn't she beautiful?" He stared at me like I was a stranger. And then said nothing.
He turned and left.
I ripped off the heels the moment I got upstairs. Threw the wig across the room. Scrubbed my face raw. The girl I'd felt so proud of was now poison. Claudia knocked once, but didn't enter. Amelia texted. Heard from your dad yet? I didn't reply. I stared at my reflection, bare-faced, red-eyed, empty, and whispered, I ruined everything. But inside me, Riley didn't agree. She wasn't gone. Not yet. The next morning, my dad didn't talk to me. Not at breakfast. Not in passing. Not even a knock on the door. That silence was worse than shouting. Asked Claudia what he'd said. She shrugged. He thinks you're confused. He said he's giving you space. I don't need space, I muttered. I need to fix this.
Fix what? She asked.
Your truth. I didn't have an answer. But my phone buzzed again. Amelia. Meet me at the park. We need to talk. Come as yourself. I stared at the message. And didn't know who myself was anymore. I arrived at the park an hour later. Wearing jeans, a hoodie, sneakers. No makeup. No wig. Just Ryan. Amelia sat on the bench, arms crossed. I sat beside her. We didn't speak for a long time. Finally, she said, You looked beautiful. Tears stung my eyes. But you also looked scared. I admitted. I still am. I talked to Claudia, she added. My stomach sank. She told me you've been like this for a long time. That you hide it. I nodded. Because I thought I had to. Amelia looked at me. What if you didn't? The breeze danced softly through the trees as we sat on that bench, both of us trying to breathe through the silence between us. Amelia's words were still echoing. What if you didn't have to hide? I turned to her, startled. You mean tell people? She shook her head. I mean stop hiding from yourself. My throat tightened. I don't know how. I don't either, she admitted. But I know you weren't pretending yesterday. I've never seen you glow like that. You looked terrified but also alive. I didn't say anything. I couldn't. She reached over and held my hand, softly, deliberately. I'm not going anywhere, Riley. My eyes widened. She'd said it. Riley. Not Ryan. Not as a joke. Not in quotation marks. As me. And I didn't correct her. When I got home, Claudia was waiting in the kitchen. Her arms were crossed, but she wasn't smirking anymore. She looked careful. Your dad wants to talk to you, she said softly. My stomach flipped. Did he say what about?
No.
But he looked in the drawer. I froze. That drawer? She nodded. Did you tell him anything?
No.
But I didn't have to.
He's not blind.
I stood there, heart beating in my ears. Do you think he's going to kick me out? She shook her head.
No.
But I do think he's scared. And confused. Like you were. The door to his office was half open. I stepped in slowly. He was sitting at his desk, staring at a photo of me from 2 years ago, back when I still wore oversized hoodies and tried to walk like my shoulders carried weight. He looked up when I entered. And for a moment, I saw something soft in his eyes. Not disappointment. Something like mourning. Sit down, Ryan. I sat. He took a breath. I saw the stuff. In the drawer. The wig. The clothes. The pictures. I didn't say anything. I thought it was just a phase.
But now.
Claudia says you've been struggling with this for years. Still, I stayed silent. He looked down at his hands. You're my son. And I raised you to be strong. That word hit like a punch. Then he looked at me again, really looked. But maybe I raised you to be afraid, too. My lip trembled. I don't understand all of it, he said. But I don't want to lose you. You haven't, I whispered. I need time. So do I. We sat there, not saying much. But for the first time, not fighting it either. Later that night, I stood in the hallway outside the bathroom. Claudia had left out another outfit. Short pink dress, nude pantyhose, matching heels. A note stuck to the hanger read, Barbie deserves one more night before the world starts asking questions.
I stared at it for a long time.
Then I changed. The dress fit better than I expected. The wig framed my face perfectly now that Claudia had styled it again. When I stepped in front of the mirror, something shifted inside me. I smiled. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to. The next morning, Claudia was already dressed and ready to head out to the spa. She paused at the door, looked me up and down as I came down the stairs in my usual jeans and sweatshirt. "Back to hiding?" she asked. I nodded. "For now." She smiled faintly. "Barbie's still in there. Don't forget her." "I won't." I opened the door to grab the mail and froze. A letter was waiting. Pink envelope. No return address. Inside, a single card. On it, written in glittery ink. "You looked beautiful yesterday, but the Barbie game has rules."
See?
My hands shook.
See?
Claudia? Or someone else? And what did they mean, rules?